Hello, in this session we will talk about project management stages. This is Hassan Mir from 0 2 protraining.com. First of all, a quick recap. What is a project management? It is a discipline of managing resources to achieve project objectives within the constraints. When we say managing resources, we mean planning, organizing, motivating, and controlling the resources. And when we say within constraints, we mean within the scope, time, budget, and the quality that was agreed upon. No matter which project methodology you're following, a project will go through these stages: initialization, planning, executing, controlling, and closing. The executing and controlling stages will repeat themselves periodically until the project reaches the closing. The most crucial stage is the initialization. If this stage is not completed successfully or properly, then most likely the project will fail. The goal of the initialization stage is to objectives, scope, deliverables of the project that the team needs to be producing. So in short, in the initialization stage, you are determining what to do in the project. So that's why it's very important to get that right. So how would we know if the initialization stage is completed successfully? The deliverable is produced called a project charter, and it's produced by the project manager. The document lists the clear goals and scope of the project, who is the authority in making decisions related to the project, and who are the participants in the project, who are the members in the project team, and who are the members representing the client for which we are doing the project. And also the document lists success and risk factors. Key assumptions are listed in the document. If any of those assumptions is not true anymore, then the project is likely to fail. Also, the risk factors are listed in the document. For example, if this project is dependent on a success of another project, so that fact is listed there as well. The project charter is like a Bible that will be followed throughout the project. If there is any conflict, charter will be referred. If there is any difficult decision to be made, the charter will be referred. So that's why it will contain all the necessary information that will be required in decision making or in resolving any conflicts. Also, while specifying the clear goals and scope of the project, the current processes are mentioned, how we are doing things right now and how we will be doing things in future. So how will the project impact the processes and how will the processes change? So all that is mentioned in the project charter at a really high level. Also in the project charter it is mentioned who are the key players and which person is playing what role and what is the responsibility that comes with that role, and how the controls will be implemented, how the communication will take place, and what would be the protocol. As mentioned earlier, this document is referred throughout the project, and this becomes the main reference document. And also this document represents commitments from everybody in terms of time and resources. Once the most crucial stage is completed, initialization stage, then the planning stage begins, and this is the most time consuming stage in most cases. The main objective of the planning stage is to convert the project goals into measurable action plans so that we can define who is doing what in what time. How do we know the planning stage is finished? We will have a document on the table called project plan, and this is produced by the project manager. And what would this document list? It will list the task and the owners of those tasks and the deadlines, by what date and time those tasks are supposed to be completed, and the milestones. So the project manager would typically list all the tasks and subtasks, so a tree structure will be created, and then the project manager will assign resources to each task, and then budget would be assigned to each task, and deadlines will be given to each task. So the task and subtask tree structure is usually known as work breakdown structure. And once all this is completed, the project plan is ready, and this will be communicated to the stakeholders. Stakeholders not only include the team members but also the client and the project sponsors, people who are paying for this project, and all of them must be happy, otherwise the plan will be revisited. Once the planning stage is completed, then the executing stage begins. This is the most busy stage. This is where the team members will be most busy, and this is the stage where most of the project budget will be consumed. The objective of the executing stage is simple: to put the project plan into action. So the main doers in this stage are the team members. So they are producing actions and outputs as defined in the project plan. And this is the stage where the project manager's role is the communication and the coordination. So project manager needs to make sure all team members are communicating among themselves and with the project manager, and also with other stakeholders like clients, and coordination is there of the resources. So right resource is there at the right place to do the right task. Since execution stage marks the busiest time of the project, it is usually started with a kick-off meeting where project manager makes sure everybody understands what they're supposed to do and everybody is happy with the project plan. Since this is not a perfect world, making a project plan and executing it is just not enough. You need to make sure that we are on the right track, and this is what the controlling stage is all about. It is a periodic stage, so you go from execution to controlling and then back to execution. The cycle will keep on repeating until we reach the closing of the project at a certain date as per project plan. The objective of the controlling is pretty straightforward: to ensure that the project is moving along as planned. And the deliverable of controlling stage is project status report produced by the project manager. And the status report will list the progress we have made since the last status report, any issues or concern raised by any team member, and also if any changes were made to the project plan. So the project plan is a living document. It will be changed if required, and that is the whole purpose of the controlling stage: to make sure are we on the right track or not, and if not, what can we do to make us come back on the right track. Periodic meetings will be held by the project managers where all the team members will be submitting the updates. It could be a daily stand-ups or weekly meetings in conference room. Once project manager has gathered all the information, a deliverable will be produced called project status report, and this report will be sent to all the stakeholders, not only the team members but also to the client and project sponsors. And it is the project status report that will tell the world what is going on. Those people who are not really involved in the project but they are very concerned about the project, like the executives and higher management, this status report will tell them what is going on. The executing and controlling stages will repeat themselves until we finish what we were supposed to do, and the project will enter the closing stage. The objective of the closing stage is to get formal approval from the client on the deliverables. So the deliverable of the closing stage is a sign-off document. It could be an email, it could be a document. It is a proof that client is happy with the work, and the closing stage will begin right after you have presented your deliverables, whatever you are supposed to do in the project. Once we receive the sign-off, then usually a feedback meeting is held where we do the postmortem of the project and we document the lessons learned. Everybody get a chance to speak about what we could have done better and what we did best, including the team members as well as the client. During the closing stage, we also do any cleanup if required with the documentation, and we archive everything to a safe place, including the document containing lessons learned.